here. I was telling Michael before na it's going to be difficult because pagdating sa schedule kasi it's going to be a little bit while bago ulit maging free kasi, so thank you for being here. Regarding sa pag-not stream, medyo ito sa request on my part, so sorry for that. Medyo hindi pwedeng i-stream. Medyo rated R yung lecture ko ngayon. So pagpasensya na, medyo baka mamaya may masabi ako na sensitive, so please pagbigyan nyo na lang.
To talk about, I think I was asked to talk today about divorce. Pero what I decided is that I'd rather talk about marriage, generally the concept of marriage. And the reason is kasi para everybody is on the same page pagdating sa understanding of what actually constitutes a marriage. Kasi why is it na hindi natin kailangan mag-divorce, bakit hindi pwede divorce? Normally the arguments are because obviously if religious yung argument, ang magiging banata mo kasi ng kabila would be is that hindi naman naniniwala sa religion yun, ba't i-impose sa amin? Then the other argumentation is that we don't like divorce kasi masama yung effect ko eh. And then ang banata ng kabila would be is, well, ito may good effects. So nagkakaroon ko din na labanan na lang na ano talaga maganda or good. But so that's why I'd like to proceed from this point kasi tumuling first principles niya. And that is, ito yung definition of marriage. And the problem kasi with marriage is that, or with divorce is that nag-deviate ako sa nature of marriage. Kung yung ano. Para ba kunyari, gumagawa ka ng Pepsi or KFC, tapos tinanggal yung isang recipe or ingredient ng Pepsi, hindi na sa Pepsi, hindi na sa KFC. Essentially, and hopefully along the way, we will discuss why. Makikita din natin hopefully sa lecture na to, kung bakit hindi pwede same-sex marriage, kung bakit hindi pwede contraception, and so on. Again, because of that's yung nagsisimula sa diskusyon kasi kung ano ibig sabihin talaga ng marriage. So, first we start with the history of marriage. So this is by William May. He's actually a philosopher.
Na ano, brother?
Unites a man with a woman
Napapagod ka.
and any children born from their union. Now, obviously, this would have certain definition of that. Kasi, I think the obvious defect is, may philosopher. But even then, I don't know kung nakita niyo yung defect sa definition niya. The defect is that, what if walang anak? Would that constitute still a marriage? But we'll discuss that later on. Kung ano yung sagot doon. The modern definition of marriage is the one that's usually found here. Committed relationship, two adults, normally, so hindi na siya between man and woman, and then for their fulfillment. If you notice, tinanggal yung reference sa kabata. So that's usually the modern definition of marriage. Now, if you look at the dictionary terms of marriage, when I was looking at the 1987 definitions, I got a definition ng hanapin dictionary. Usually what you would see is that the definition of marriage is between a man and a woman. And then the definition now, if you look at the definitions now, kahit Google kayo, normally what you would see is the marriage, a commitment made between two adults. So nawala na yung distinction between man and a woman. Now, along the way, pasensya na kung medyo minsan mag-divert ako. So in 2016, nagkaroon ng oral argument sa Supreme Court on the same-sex marriage case. I don't know if you remember that. So I was the one who was arguing before the Supreme Court on that one. The other one was si Kalida. But si Kalida kasi more, sa Sojit Kalida spoke more on the procedural aspects. Ako naman was defending on why same-sex marriage is wrong under the Constitution. And one of the ways that we defended yung traditional marriage is essentially by pointing out na pag tinignan mo yung Constitution, pag tinignan mo yung wording ng Constitution, may nakasunod ng marriage. Now,
Pag tingnan mo yung Constitution, wala nakasulat kung man and woman. Diba? Actually, wala rin nakasulat doon na bawal ang divorce, pero we'll discuss that later. So, ang argument namin is, kasi ang argument ng kabila, wala naman nakasulat dyan na man and woman. Nakasulat lang is sa family code. Family code says man and woman. So, sabi nila, Judge Francis, and the others were petitioning. So, dapat pwede. So, unconstitutional yung family code kasi lumalabag siya sa Constitution eh. Constitution, di naman nagsabi man and woman. Ang argument namin nun is that nung bumoto yung Pilipino noong February 2, 1987 to ratify the Constitution, at tinignan nila yung salita na marriage, ano ang pagkaintindi nila ng marriage? Every single one of the dictionary na tulisenta namin noong 1987 said, marriage is between a man and a woman. Which meant that lahat ng tao, nung bumoto sila at that time, noong February 1987, ang iniisip nila is that marriage is between a man and a woman. In fact, that was so much the understanding na kahit si Lino Broca, who was one of the constitutional commissioners, and obviously, we don't know, he's openly homosexual, did not object to the definition of man and woman. Kasi that was the real understanding talaga of marriage at that time. Now, again, medyo nadivert ako, pasensya na again. Sa legal profession kasi, sa mga abogado, may away kasi. And ang away is, sino ba yung tinatawag na originalism at saka living constitution? Rinig nyo na ba yun? Originalism is, mga katulad ko, nabasahin mo yung batas, kung ano yung pagkaintindi niya at the time na ginawa yung batas. That's originalism. And then you have people like, usually mga leftist lawyers to na ang sa kanila naman, living constitution. Sa kanila, basahin mo yung batas kung ano yung kinakailangan ngayon. Kung ano yung sa kinakailangan ngayon. Now, bigyan na ako pamanhin pag sabihin ko na karamihan ng mga law schools right now, living constitution theorists, mag-isip na kayo ng kahit anong law school, lahat ng tinuturo sa kanila, lahat living constitution. Okay. In fact, yung isa pa ng very famous na law school sa Makati, yung one of their most famous deans, yung series of libro niya, ang title is The Living Constitution. Hindi ko muna pag-usapan na kung bakit yun ang training nila. Sa UANT, ginawa namin, ang training namin is, no, we have to look at also the originalism doctrine. And that's why nung nagtatalo kami ni Leonel, kasi siya nag-interrogate sa akin dun sa same-sex marriage case. Why are you using the 1987 definitions? 2016 na. So dapat gamitin natin yung definition ng 2016. The answer there that I gave is, ba't sino ka ba to reply and tell me na iba na yung definition sa Consti? Kasi ang gumawa ng Consti is hindi yung Concom eh. Ang gumawa ng Consti is kayo, noong February of 1987. And so if you want to change the definition ng Consti, then dapat it should be back to the people, tapos pa-redefine mo. Pero hindi dapat ang Supreme Court na nagbibigay ng definition or nagre-redefine. Now, this is very important kasi a lot of other Supreme Court justices, and again, most law schools, practically all law schools, ang mentality nila is, pag hindi nagustuhan ng mga tao at the present time sa Kongreso, pwede lang gamitin idaan sa Supreme Court. And yung iniisip ng petitioner at that time, sila Francis, was, kung hindi natin maipasa sa Kongreso yung same-sex marriage law, then ang gawin natin, daan natin sa Supreme Court. Now, most likely, they will do the same pagdating sa SOGI siguro, and most likely, they'll probably try to do the same sa divorce. Pero for now, I'm explaining to you yung technical, at saka yung laban sa ano. That is why, for me, very importante na yung mga law students, maalam nila na yung kailangan ng basa mo ng Consti, yung Constitution, is yung original, the way it was formulated. Kasi kung papayagan mo yung Supreme Court na basahin niya as in any way possible, then wala na. Hindi siya, first of all, hindi siya very democratic. Kasi dapat, Kongreso gumagawa ng batas kasi sila yung elected eh. Supreme Court naman, hindi elected. Just, example lang ulit, pero medyo political naman itong example ko, pero para lang masabi ko, para ka maging presidente, kitang-kita dun eh. Natural born citizen. You don't have to interpret it. Natural born citizen in order for you to be a president. 45 years old, able to read and write, natural born citizen, and so on. Ang naging definition nila later on, na file ng Casey Grace po, is kahit hindi natural born, pwede. Kasi remember, founding si Grace po eh. Okay, so I don't know whether you agree kung okay na si Grace po or not. That's not the point. The point is that you could see yung danger na papayagan yung Supreme Court to redefine yung mga words. Diba? That's my point. So anyway, the other definitions are the one that we find here. This is by David Blankenhorn. And if you notice, medyo mas complicated ng konting definition niya. And the first time you would see socially approved social intercourse. This is actually true. And let's not, this is something that I have to really emphasize. Marriage is everything that has to do with sex. Kaya medyo rated down ng konti yung talk eh. Kung walang sex, there's no marriage. That's it na. The question na lang is, anong klaseng sex yung pinapayagan sa marriage? So, the definition of David Blankenhorn is essentially correct, but I think my favorite one is Dr. Robert George, who is a professor at Princeton. For him, marriage is a comprehensive union made possible by the sexual complementarity of man and woman, ordered to the all-encompassing goods of procreation family life, which is, I think, a little bit more technically correct in definition. But in any event, I think nakakaintindihan naman tayo kung anong definition of marriage, right? Between a man and a woman, ordered for the purpose of creating a family, which is essentially what you see sa consti. Now, if you notice, pag nabasa niyo yung consti, meron ko makikita two terms doon, marriage and family. Which means that marriage and family are different. Now, some people are saying kasi that you can have dalawang tao lang, that would constitute a family. But that's not necessarily the case. Di ba kapag gumawa ng two separate terms, marriage and family. So, ibig sabihin ng marriage is different pa from a family. Marriage can create a family, but and so on. So, what does this meaning? What does this definition mean? Why is this important? Number one, sa comprehensive union, meaning everything. Everything sa pagkatao mo is uniting with everything sa pagkatao ng another person. Everything. Kaya na comprehensive eh. Sexual complementarity meaning, I don't know kung papasok ito ng okay. Sexual complementarity meaning nagsaswap yung biological parts ng dalawang tao. And resulting na in that comprehensive union. I will explain these terms later on. Between man and woman, of course, huwag na tayo pumasok sa usapan na ano ba talaga ibig sabihin ng man and woman. We know that what a man and woman is na. Okay, so man is a guy with a penis and then XY chromosomes, and then a female or a woman is one with a vagina and has XX chromosomes. That's essentially it. With the ability to produce or potential to produce babies. So all in order to the good procreation family life. What's the significance of the last phrase? The significance is that the reason why nagsisex is for purposes of being able to create a family. That's it. Now, what about the situation na nag-sex nga kayo and then you're not able to produce a family for some reason? You're not able to produce children. What about that? Would you consider that a proper marriage? The answer is yes. Why? Because nga, ang definition naman is to order, yung purpose ko is to that. Iba yung nagsisex ka kasi pero wala kang intensyon na magawa ng anak, which obviously will not probably constitute a proper marriage. But if the sex is essentially ordered to that, hindi ka nagbaban ng possibility of marriage, ng children, then that would be a marriage itself. Now, what about nga yung hindi nakapag-produce? The argument there is that you take a basketball team. Yung basketball team, everyday nagpa-practice sila. Pero anong purpose ng pag-practice nila? The pag-practice is para manalo against the other team. Yeah. Let's say hindi sila manalo-nalo, then ang mangyayari niya, are they not a basketball team? They're still a basketball team. Hindi lang napuproduce yung result na gusto nila makuha. It's the same thing with the married couple. That's the same reasoning. So even if you have an old couple or a sterile couple or so on, can that still be a proper marriage? And makikita mo sa batas natin, it is a proper marriage. Ang hindi lang proper marriage is kung impotent or frigid yung guy, frigid yung girl. From the very beginning, that will be an annullable marriage. Why? Because the possibility of being able to have sex, wala. So that's why even in our own laws, nakikita mo sinusuportahan, or nagre-reflect itong definition na to. Okay. There's even a famous Supreme Court case. I think every law student nowadays alam yung Bing Choi Supreme case. Kasi hindi ma-consummate yung marriage, hindi sila makapag-sex. And because of that, sabi ng Supreme Court that this is not a true marriage. This has to be annulled or not nullified. We will talk about more definition of marriage as we keep on going along. Unti-unti, iisa-isahin natin yung ibig sabihin ng phrases na to. You guys are okay, we're not too naman. Okay. Okay, so medyo cambio ng content. The picture on the left is a Mesopotamia carving. Pictures to ng essentially a woman and the name, nakita mo, baby. The second one in the middle is the laws of Lipit Ishtar, which states the child's right to a father. So this is around 1,900 years before pinanganak si Jesus. And nagsasabi agad sila ng anak, may right para magkakatay. Kailangan may right siya to a father. The one on the pinaka-far right is the Code of Hammurabi, 1,750 years before pinanganak si Jesus. And describe niya ano yung setting for a family life. Here, ancient Egypt, and then also the Book of Songs. Why did I mention it? Because of the fact that they would have mga writings telling, especially the Book of Songs. May mga portions na nagsasabi na ligaw mo yung wife mo, pag i-date mo siya once in a while. It's essentially advising isang tatay to a son. Now, why did I mention this and this? Because there is a belief nung araw na yung mga mag-asawa nung araw hindi naman daw nagmamahalan. Na essentially lahat sila negotiated. Okay? Now, what this is telling you is that that's not true. That from the very beginning, there's already a concept na yung man and wife are supposed to be nagmamahalan with each other. Hindi sila there to produce a baby lang. Why is that important? Remember what I said earlier regarding the definition of marriage. It's a comprehensive union made possible. The comprehensive union will not be possible, will not be present if nagsisex lang kayo pero there's no relationship here sa utak and sa mentality. I don't know if you remember yung movie ni, yung si Val, yung medyo retarded si Val, walang malay, remember that? Tapos I think binuntis niya yung isang babae yata. Yun yung movie eh. Would that be a proper marriage? No, because there's no relationship. Nag-sex na sila. But if you notice, there was no connection between the Now, the reverse naman is true. Pwede ka magkaroon ng relationship, very, very romantic relationship with a woman, for example, pero kung hindi naman kayo nagsisex, then that's not a marriage. And therefore, kunyari, let's say, kasal tayo. Kasi wala ka mong ginagawa pag isang gabi, di ba? At least may kadate na ako palagi pag Friday night. Tapos ang usapan lang is every Friday night, go tayo Netflix. That's it. Is that a marriage? The answer is no. That's why you can't have a marriage then, for example, na, sige, kasal tayo. Let's say si Ann and si Mark. Pero yung isa titira sa Pasig, yung isa titira sa Tondo. Is that a proper marriage? The answer is no. Because they have to be together again. Walang union eh. So, okay, so the point that these pictures are saying is that from the very beginning, we know na yung kahit sinunang panahon pa lang, yung mga tao naniniwala na, oy, mag-alaga kayo with each other. Yung lalaki, alagaan mo yung asawa mo. Yung babae, alagaan mo naman yung asawa mo rin. So it's not true na negotiated and bartered siya, na parang wala lang, nag-unite lang yung two kingdoms and then magbubuntis na. That's not true. Even from the very beginning, even before dumating si Jesus, the understanding na agad that there's supposed to be some sort of unity between man and woman. So later on, you have these people, Aristotle, Plutarch, Lucretius, even them, when they were talking about marriage, same concept. And again, and why am I mentioning these people? Okay na lahat ng araw pa. Because even before dumating si Jesus, these guys are already saying it. Ito yung ibig sabihin ng marriage. And then later on, you have these philosophers again. Hindi naman sila Kristiyano, Hobbes, Locke, and later on, or inuulit nila yung sinabi ng dalawang to, kaya mga sinagsasabi dito. This is an anthropologist, Levi Strauss, and he started studying naman yung marriage. And so you have here, cavemen, nag-selfie sila. Anyway, so you have, cavemen. I don't know how to describe this, I'm sorry. This lecture kasi I give to lawyers and also to mga judges and justices. Medyo, I don't know, nahihiya to ako sila kasi naman, mandit na yung mga
Huwag ka na mahiya.
Okay.
Okay lang ba?
If you notice, all animals, kung nagsisex, doggy style, did you notice that? From behind yung lalaki. Why is it, all of a sudden, pagdating sa human beings, hindi na doggy style, hindi na from behind yung sex. It suddenly shifted sa na magkaharap yung dalawa. Sabi ko sa inyo, like the dark. So magkaharap yung dalawa nagsisex. The other thing that happened is that nawala yung estrus ng babae. What is estrus? Estrus means, kasi yung dog, female dog, or female cow, or whatever, hindi siya available for sex every day. May season siya eh. Tapos doon lang, not one year, eh. Parang may cover siya ng period na doon siya magkakasay. Kaya tinatawag natin in heat, yung female dog or cat or whatever. Tapos doon lang siya magsa-sex, and that's it. For some reason, nawala hindi nawala yung estrus eh. Yung estrus ng babae, na female, human, naging constant. Okay, I don't want to make a joke. It's tempting. Nangyari tuloy, palaging ready yung female for sex na human eh. Why is that? Why did it become that way? Two developments. Now, in order nga pala, para mag-sex yung human sa magkaharap, kailangan mag-develop din yung vagina ng woman na nag-develop siya na mostly from behind, pumunta siya somewhere sa front. 2 years lumipat siya sa may harapan. Therefore, facilitating face-to-face sex. And then later on, nawala rin yung estrus, which means that 24/7, available yung human female for sex. Why did it happen that way? Any guesses? Any guesses? And the reason daw is so that the male and female will always remain attracted to each other. But then it leads to another question. Why? Why should the male and female always be attracted to each other? Kasi the point, remember, and especially for you guys na may anak na babae, lalo na yung mga tatay dito, i-hug nyo ng i-hug yung daughter nyo. Kasi lalo na for a woman, you hug a woman more than 10 seconds, nag-release yun ng chemicals. And kung sino yung kahag niya, nagiging attached siya doon sa kahag niya. So, if my suggestion to the fathers here na may daughter, bata pa lang, sanayin nyo na hinahag nyo siya. Kasi pag hindi nyo siya hinahag, at later on, naging teenager yan at may nagpag sa kanya ng ibang lalaki, parang nakuryente yun eh. Hindi siya sanay. In any event, in relation to sex, it's the same principles. Every single time na you have sex, yung woman nag-release oxytocin yata or something. The pheromones is to attract and also then oxytocins. And then sa male naman nag-release din ng hormones. So for the female, it's really more to be attached to the guy that they're having sex with. For the male, nagiging rin siya, nawawala yung aggression. Kaya yung sa mga wives dito, kung gusto nyo maglaba yung lalaki ko, after kayo mag-sex, utusan nyo. Kasi after that, docile na siya eh. So, but going back to the original question, why is it that they have to be attached? Kasi all the other animals, the moment they have sex, wala na eh. They separate na. You take a bird, most birds, I don't know about doves, pero most birds, most animals, the moment they have sex, alis na yung gali. Hindi na sila makikita ulit. Parang one night stand lang sila, that's it. But for humans, there has to be parang for some weird reason, they were made that always mag-continuous yung sex with each other. And what's the reason? The probable reason is because of children. Probable reason is because of children. Why? Because if you take a horse, tapos nag-sex yung dalawang horse, tapos later on yung nagkaroon ng baby horse, after a few hours, the baby horse kind of tumayo on its own. Diba?
Yes.
Which means that yung ability na alagaan yung baby horse takes lesser time. Sorry, the necessity to alaga the baby horse takes lesser time. For humans, it takes years para siya makatayo. And one of the reasons why is because sa laki ng utak ng human eh. So, para mag-isip siya eh. Pero you can't have sobrang malaking utak habang nasa womb yung baby, because otherwise, hindi siya makakalabas eh. So, ang nangyayari tuloy is, maliit yung utak ng baby. And magde-develop ng yung utak niya until much, much later. Psychologists actually say that kaya if you have teenagers or something, the full development this is like, when you talk to any psychologist, most likely they will agree. The full development of the human brain is around 25 years old. 25. That's why sometimes I propose na dapat yung voting age increase to 25. Of course, for some people, baka may hanggang 40 yata, di ba? So, you know why 18 ang ano? Any guesses? You know why 18 ang voting age? Actually, kumopia lang tayo sa US eh. Kasi before 21, 25. Tapos pinaksak nila to 80. Tayo naman sunod-sunod lang. Nag-18 din pa. Any guesses why 18?
Legal age.
Ha? No, bakit nga yun ang ginawang legal age? Dati 21 eh. Dati 25.
Kaya nga all the same.
No, kaya nga 25 ang with full development ng brain eh. You know why? Anybody?
Easy to pursue.
Sorry, biglang biglang serious yung usapan. Lalo pa nagkagera tayo ng China. The reason is because the reason is nagre-recruit ka lang ng sundalo 18. And ang reasoning ng Amerikano is, pinapayagan natin pumatay ng ibang tao to, tapos hindi sila pwedeng bumoto, or hindi sila pwedeng uminom ng beer, or hindi sila pwedeng mag-drive. Parang hindi, may disconnect. So that's why they gave them the voting rights. Kasi at 18, binibigyan mo na ng baril eh, para lumaban sa World War I, and what have you. That's why binaksak nila yung voting age. Anyway, so, okay, so the next slide essentially says, So, aside from the fact kasi na the human mother has to need to take care of the baby, and by the way, the moment kasi the baby is born, again, a bunch of drugs are released sa utak ng mom. Not much of that, pero sa mom, definitely. And then vice versa. Yung baby would be attached to the mother would get attached to the ano. And that is why, even though ang kulit ng bata, and that's why actually, usually the baby is cute and that's why usually babies smell good. The reason is para hindi patayin ng nanay yung bata eh.